Welcome to day 5 of processing. It's amazing how far we've come, and it hasn't even been a full week of processing. And hopefully you've had a bit of time to play around and create some cool sketches of your own, something that you're fairly proud of, and maybe you've got kind of some ideas for things that you want to do for a final project. But today we, as promised, we're going to add text and add the ability to bring in our own pictures, our own images from other places. So our first step, as it always is to open up our template. So find your template, open it up, and today we'll probably, let's see, file to save as, gotta save it to the right spot here, but we'll probably save it as, I don't know, final. Why not? It's our final project. So we will go save as, call it final. If you have the handouts, you might want to pull that out right now. But like I said, the first thing we're going to do is add text. And actually adding text is fairly simple. Since many of you doing projects, we're doing a Christmas greeting of some sort, maybe something you could send as a Christmas card. You know, maybe you want to add the words Merry Christmas in. So let's just put that in. You know, we've got our template. We can actually do this in the setup if we wanted. We could probably do this in the draw loop as well, and we'll just go ahead and put it in here. But the command is very simple. It's text, and then you put in parentheses what you want to say. So Merry Christmas. Sounds good. And then you give coordinates for where it should be. So let's put it at width divided by 2, height divided by 2. Then we'll close our parentheses, put the end on, and voila, we should have, oops, there we go, we should have Merry Christmas, right? The problem is the default text color is going to be white, so we actually aren't going to see that against a white background. So maybe if we comment our background out and make it just that default gray, now you'll actually see the words Merry Christmas. You'll notice though that our point was supposed to be right in the center, so you'd think our text would be centered, but the reality is it lines it up with that upper left hand corner, kind of like a rectangle. But fortunately within here, within processing, there is that ability to change that text alignment, and it's like you might expect for the code. It is simply text align. Second word is capitalized, L-A-I-N. Oops, let's spell it right. Text align, and then say center. And now our Merry Christmas will show up nicely in the center. So that the middle point of our text is also the middle point is the point that we set, the middle point of our canvas. If we wanted to change the text color, or, well, actually we should start with the text size because that was kind of small, so let's do text size. We can change that. Again, the code here is really simple. It's text size, and then you give it a font size. And now we've got a much bigger Merry Christmas. And if we want to change the text color, well, it's just that fill color again. So go back to our setup here and fill, and let's make it red, so it fits with the Christmas theme here. And now we've got this beautiful red Merry Christmas. And so that I'm on the same page with our notes, I'll put a exclamation point in there. Last thing that you want to know with text here, besides the fact that you can put it, you know, we could put it in, we could also put this all in. Let's highlight this, Control X. We could put it into our draw loop if we wanted. And we can do a lot of the things that we've done before. So we've got our text, our fill color, etc. But we could put in a slightly transparent background. Let's comment our get our background back in here. So we got a white background with that red text, but now we're going to put in that somewhat transparent rectangle, width, height, text align center. We change our text, our fill color to red. We draw that, but rather than have it just at the center, we'll have it at the mouse X, mouse Y. So now we can move that text around, and like with our other objects in motion, we move it around, we get that little bit of a trail effect, and our Merry Christmas is centered at our mouse. So yay, Merry Christmas. It's kind of fun. So that's how we play with text. There's a lot you can do with that. Oh, one last thing you could do if you wanted to, if you ever want to put a return in there, use the /n, and now you're essentially putting a return in your text. There we go. And so now you've got it on 2 different lines. So that's how we space it out. It's really similar to what you'd see in HTML code. So that's text. That's all fun. That's well and good. Let's work on the next thing. Would be adding an image. We could declare a variable for an image and then load an image and call it something, but for the sake of simplicity, maybe we'll call it for the sake of simplicity, we'll just embed the whole code into one line like we've done here. So we can leave that Merry Christmas in there, but let's load an image. The first step to this is we need an image to load. And to do that, if you've got one on your computer, you can go to Add File, and then you have to go search for that image. So I've actually got the, let's see, where to go, the GRCHS logo. See, so when I did that, you didn't even see it, but it added this inside my folder, added this data folder, and it brought that picture into it. So we've got that picture, and now all we have to do is call on it. So image, and then we load the image, and it's logo.png. You're going to need to know what type of image it is, whether it's a JPEG or a PNG. So if you're in your sketch folder, you've got to look at what type of file it is, and if yours doesn't say what type of file it is, then you need to come up here to this organize, to your folder search options, to view, and make sure that you aren't hiding extensions for known file types. So make sure that is unchecked so that you know what type of image you have there. And then you have to give the location, and again the location, like the rectangle, is just where's that upper corner going to be. So we'll put it at 0, 0. Why not? And so now when I play it, there we go. Notice I got my Merry Christmas still working, and I drew my logo up in the top corner there. So yay, kind of fun. And of course, because my image is being drawn after my text here, my text is underneath it because that image is being drawn right over top of it again. So that's one way to bring an image in. The other way would be to actually go online and find an image. So I'm going to jump over to my other window here. I went to Google Images and I typed in eagle, and then I found some images and I was like, oh, that's kind of a nice one there. So I clicked on it, and then I wanted to click on the full-size image. Will actually bring me to just the image. And the important thing here is that your web address that I'm looking at, it's got to end in some sort of .jpeg or .png. That means this address here is actually pointing directly to an image file. But then I can simply copy that image file. I'll go back to my processing, and in my quotation marks there, I just put that whole web address. And now when I run it, it'll actually go online. Obviously I'm going to have an internet connection, but if I have an internet connection, it goes and it finds my little image that I wanted to load. So look at that. I've got that beautiful little eagles up in the upper right hand corner. One other thing I wanted to show with images. Of course, with images, I should say too that you know, you don't have to give them a fixed location. You could give them, oops, I had a really long name for my image there, but you can actually give them a dynamic location as well. I'm actually going to change this back to that logo. So we'll delete that and do logo.png. So you know, I could make this. I could have it going in random spots. So random width. So anywhere in the width to random height. So now when I play it, it's going to keep redrawing that image all over the place. It's kind of sporadic. I'd probably want to slow down my frame rate or something, but you get the idea. So I can do those randoms. I could do the mouse X, mouse Y thing. I could really do anything that I want there for its location. Last thing that I wanted to show with this though too is there are two optional parameters outside of this, and that would be to change the dimensions of my logo. So if I wanted to change the dimensions of my logo, in this case to the width and height, notice now it draws it the size of the entire canvas there. Or I could say I want it to be 300 by 300, and so those are optional arguments in order to change the size of your image if you need to. So I think that about concludes it in terms of text and images. Have some fun with that. See if you can get them to work. Play around with them. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to tomorrow talk about exporting it as an applet. It's actually the last thing on page 10. We'll also talk about how you can export it as an HTML file that you could use to make as your it'll give you that HTML file that you can use as part of your web page, and also then how to take that applet that you created and upload it properly to open processing so that you can share it with the class and with everybody else.